Hi there guys. In this video we're going to have a look at my old RCBS Pro-Melt lead furnace. And when I say old, I do mean old. This particular one was manufactured in 1987. In fact, RCBS is kind enough to put that right on the very front of the machine. And this one says April 29th, 1987. Now, I didn't buy this one new. I purchased it secondhand, and I paid pretty good money for it when I bought it. I believe I paid $200 for it secondhand, but that was, 22 odd years ago, I guess, that I purchased it. And I used it quite a lot, and then one day when I was cleaning it out, it stopped working. And so I basically just parked it in the corner for the last few years. And today I thought I'd have a look at it to see if I could get it going again. And lo and behold, it is functional. So whatever it was, I think is related to the on-off switch. So I think from now on I'm just going to plug it in and leave the switch in the on position. So it seems to be working at the moment. So I figured I'd fill it back up with some lead and have a casting session with it. These were a really good machine. They're quite heavy duty. They're very well insulated. They're kind of almost an industrial element in them, from what I understand, and American made and all that good stuff. And very nice machine. They don't tend to be really drippy or leaky, unlike some of the cheaper machines. They've got a dial adjustment on the side of them. You can adjust the temperature, and of course they are a bottom pour spout. And I believe the capacity of these is something in the neighborhood of 22 pounds of lead, something like that, or 23 pounds of lead. The actual lead reservoir itself appears to be made out of stainless steel, so that's nice. It doesn't get corroded. Everything's nice and heavy duty. And other than those issues I had with the switch, I think it's they're a pretty well regarded machine. And I think the switches are probably the weak point in them. I was prepared to take this thing apart to see if I could replace the switch. But now that it's working, I think I'll just leave it be until, if it ever gives me any more grief, then perhaps I'll take the switch apart. But yeah, pretty good machine. These were quite expensive when they were new. I see they've been replaced in the RCBS lineup with a Pro-Melt 2, which is quite a bit cheaper than the original machine. I think it's probably a little bit more light duty than the original. I think RCBS probably had a bit of a problem selling the original machines due to the high cost. Up here in Canada, when these were still being sold, I think they were going for in the neighborhood of $450 for a new one, plus shipping, plus taxes and all that. So that's not for the faint of heart. Anyway, this is just sort of a video to show you that these are a pretty decent machine. If you can find a second-hand one that's functional, probably worth your while to purchase. RCBS has pretty good warranty coverage on most of their stuff. However, their usual no-fault, no issue warranty coverage does not apply to their electronic items. So I think they'll take these back to repair them if you do have a problem with them, but I believe you do have to pay a service charge, unlike with most of their products. Anyway, let's have a closer look at this machine. So there are not a lot of controls on these machines. Basically, you have got a lever here which operates the bottom pour spout. So you've got this lever. It's hinged over on the left-hand side. It's connected in the middle, and then it has this apparatus here on the right-hand side that has an Allen screw and a jam nut. And this basically lets you adjust how far up and down the plunger will move when you want to dispense alloy. So I'll put something underneath there to catch it. And when you move this up and down, it will dispense the lead. So the great thing about this adjustment is you can vary the amount of flow to a certain extent. That'll allow you to fill out the mold quickly or more slowly, depending upon the alloy, the temperature, and what the individual mold seems to prefer, because molds can be very fussy things, and sometimes you need to mess with the flow rate to get them to drop lead or drop nice bullets. Anyway, if we look down below here, we'll zoom in here slowly so as not to give anybody a big headache. You can see that the bottom pour nozzle there is right underneath, and that is of course what you put your mold underneath, and when I operate the lever, you can see the lead pours out of the nozzle. So as I've said, these are not a real drippy machine. If the nozzles get drippy, usually there's dirt in there, and it pays to clean the machine out every now and again and clean that particular area out if you're starting to get drips. The cleaner the alloy that you put into the machine, the less problem you'll have. So if you've pre-cleaned your alloy and add it in and then flux it, keep it nice and clean, you won't have as much problem with drips. Also, that will help the machine from overheating as well. On the bottom of the machine, we've got a mold guide, which is this bar, and it's held in place with a set screw here, and that rod goes up through the machine, and you can loosen that set screw and move this bar up or down, and that will let you position the mold in the spot which you prefer. So this thing swings back and forth, and we've got a couple of collars on here. Well, actually only one at the moment. I think one fell off, and I'm not sure exactly where it is at the moment, but we've got these collars. There should be two of them, and you can use that to keep the mold located centrally to the axis of the spout, so you don't have to do as much adjustment when you put the mold on there to cast. So that's a nice feature. I'm going to have to find that other second one. Not really essential, but it's a nice feature to have. Moving over to the left-hand back of the machine, we've got our on-off switch, and this is what I think was causing me some grief. This particular switch doesn't seem to feel quite right, so perhaps it's on its way out. I believe you can take the sides of these machines off by drilling out the rivets and pulling the housing off, but if I can leave this thing alone and just use it by plugging it in and unplugging it, that's good enough for me. We've got a thermostat over here on the side, and it is graduated in degrees Fahrenheit, with the low setting at 650 degrees and the high setting at 850. And one of the advantages to use an electric furnace over an open source heat, such as a propane burner or a gas flame, is that these will not overheat the lead and cause the lead to vaporize. These are electrically sort of limited to put out only so much heat, and that will prevent you from boiling the lead and causing lead fumes, which is obviously a very bad thing. Thought I'd have a quick look at the cord that these come with. It's a very heavy-duty heater cord. You can see it's marked heater cord, and it's got like a silicone rubber feel to it. And we've got a 3-prong plug. Got your ground there as well. And even when these are running for hours at end, the cord stays cool. So there's obviously a nice big conductor inside there, so you don't have any issues with the cord overheating or the plug getting hot. I've noticed with some of the cheaper machines, you can end up getting the cord can end up getting warm after you've been using the machine for a while. So that is a good sign when everything stays nice and cool. Alright, I turned the light out in here just to show you that the switch on this machine does light up when the thermostat kicks in. So if I turn, you can see you probably can't see the thermostat there, but as soon as I turn the heat up, you can see that the light comes on to show that the element is drawing power. So just something to take note of. Alright, so there's not a whole lot more to say about this machine. Like I said, I've had it a long time, and when I was using it, I used it quite a lot. It gave me really good service. No particular issues other than that switch, so I hope to have it up and running for a good number of years to come. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll talk to you later.